This is Rev It Up, Mustang Fanatic Productions. Electric is back in the garage behind me. If you're wondering, she was just in the neighbor's garage while I was doing some work. But this is Mustang Fanatic Productions Mechanic Edition. So we're working with a 2005 GMC Sierra pickup. We're doing rear brake shoes. So we'll be right back and we'll show you how to do those. Hello YouTube family. This is Rev from my Rev It Up Mustang Fanatic Productions. And you know what time it is. Rev it up.
Brilliant, my love is pure. I saw an angel, of that I'm sure. She smiled at me on the subway. She was with another man. But I won't sleep on that, 'cause I've got a plan. You're beautiful, you're beautiful, you're beautiful, it's true. I saw your face in a crowded place, and I don't know what to.
Okay, so we got the front end, we got it blocked off with our blocks in front and behind the wheel to keep the tires from moving, the wheel chalk. We got 3 to 6 ton jacks under there because this is a pickup, and I got my 29-inch 3-ton Daytona jack. So she's supported and she's not going anywhere. And we're going to blow these tires off and we'll show you how to get the drums off. Okay, since I don't have no one to hold a camera, let me show you here. These little washers are on here to hold the drum on. They come from the factory. They're not really necessary. You can just get a screwdriver and back them out and get a pair of needle nose pliers and just back them right out of there. You see them kind of twisting now, and you know, once you get it past the groove, they'll twist all the way off, and then the drum may come off. If it's not, it's got 2 bolt holes. You just find the right ones and screw them in, and as you screw those in, it'll pull the drum back out. So we'll get back to you and see what method we use. We'll show it to you. You just take and pull it, and try to get it out of that groove, and once it's out of the groove, it'll spin, and you can twist them off by hand and I wouldn't bother reusing this. This is something that comes from the factory just to hold the drum on. And once you got it out, like I said, you can just twist them until it comes right off. It screws right out of there. So that's how to do that. So we'll get back to you when I'm ready to take the drum off. Now, since this has been on here since 2005, you can take and hit it in here with the hammer to loosen things up. It'll loosen up the dirt and the crust that was on here over the years, and it might be enough to loosen her up. And pay attention to the drag, because that's the amount of drag you're going to want to have when you put it back on. Sorry for that finger there in the way. And you see that just broke it loose right there. So let me see if it pulls off. I thought I felt it. That was it. As you can see, it did wiggle out quite a bit. So we'll just hit on it and continue to kind of pull. To get it to come out. Well, you see it coming. I can't do it with two hands, but that's how you get it off. I should say I can't do it with one hand, but we have the drum off. And you see, this is the wheel cylinder. Here's the spring. This is the star adjuster. And if you look at the brake, it's got some brake, but not very much. And that's the squeal we've been hearing. The rotor or the brake drum is very smooth. No scars or no scratches in there, which is good. And you got your spring right down in here, and you can see where it connects there and where it connects here. Now, for training purposes, what I'm going to do is go over to the other side and take the drum off as well, and you use that as a instructional tool if you forget how this setup went together. So I'm going to go over and do the other side. This one was a little more stubborn, so I added the bolts in here. And if you look closely at the hub, you can see it moving. And it's hitting against the back. So that's ready to come off of there now. Just about. We'll keep on screwing this in and hitting against the back of that plate. And she'll be ready to come off of here. I can probably back the screws out and get the rest of this off. And she's ready to come out of there. So let's back this one off. And there she goes. First thing you want to do is inspect the wheel cylinder, that there's no leaks and all the springs are in good shape, even though we're replacing the springs. But you want to take some brake clean and spray all that stuff out of there, because you don't want to be breathing all this stuff, this asbestos that's been here for years. And make sure you have a little chemical drain that you can use. And you see how that brake cleans this right up? Let me go get some more. You can use carburetor cleaner, brake caliper cleaner. It really doesn't matter, as long as it's stuff that cleans up grease and gunk and dries pretty fast. You can see that gunk coming out of there. It's disgusting. So I won't have to work with all that mess, and it won't be so much to clean up afterwards. And that's looking real good. You want to get all that dirt out of there, get as clean as possible. Now we want to do this side as well. Get her all cleaned up, get all the gunk off of it. The cleaner it is for you, the better it is for you in the end. Plus, you can see what you're doing a lot better when it's clean. Okay, so with a pair of needle nose pliers, you got this spring that's got to come from around this clip that's on the star adjuster that hangs on there, and we want to pull it away from there. And there she goes. Remember, the long end is going to go back onto there, okay? And then this star adjuster can just come right off. It just clips right in place right there. You just want to take that off. It comes with, our kit comes with a new one anyway, but we just like to note all that. And this is the star adjuster, which is right in here. But we got to get loose this retainer that holds in the brake and the brake over here. So I'm not sure how I'm gonna do it. I got the old time tools, but let's see if I can grab onto it like this underneath here, and perhaps get that caught in there and pull on it. Hey, what do you know? And it comes loose. And the star adjuster is out. And so we didn't mean for it to, I didn't know it was going to come loose that easy, but we got that loose right there. So that's the star adjuster that went in there. So remember, the star adjuster is going to go in that way. This is going to be pointing out, and this end is going to be pointed out right there. And then I want you to know you can pull this apart, and then there's a clip. It only goes on one way. It can't fit this. It fits that way right there. See how that little tang fits right in that groove. It doesn't fit on that top side right there. So you want that little tang to fit in that groove. And also what we want to do is clean that up and put a little brake lube on that when we get ready to do that part. Now, since the next brake shoe comes with the emergency brake cable, well, the spring, this is attached with this. It comes with it in the kit. There's an easy way to get this off, and we got to go underneath the brakes and loosen it up here. Right here is the emergency brake cable. One is for one side and one is for the other. And the top is for the side that I'm working on, the driver's side. And what you want to do is just pull it towards you, and then you can just pull it right out of there. I can't do it with one hand, so. And so you can see I got it out of the groove there, and then you just slide it back. Now we're gonna need a little screwdriver for this part. You need the screwdriver to squeeze that thing down, that little head down and out, and you can pull it out. And that's all to it. Now we'll be back and mash them up. So there's the old brakes, 1 and 2. So you got the older one with the brake shoe on it. Doesn't matter which side it go on. And then here's the old shoe over here. Doesn't matter which side they go on, they're the same. So now we're going to go ahead and we're going to put the brake shoe back on. First, what you want to do is, let me get my wire brush, and you want to clean up the area where the brake surface touches. Anywhere where the brake is going to touch, it needs to slide pretty good. And that'll be on both sides. And you want to take and add a little brake lube here, here, there, 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 and there at the point of the contact of the brakes. And just give a little squish on that to make sure that goes in and out the brake wheel cylinder, which it does. And we can also clean that up a little bit more. Okay, so we put grease here, here, and down there. And on the other side, here, there, and down there. And we took that apart and we put it back together and we greased it. We showed you how that goes and we cleaned this up. So now we're going to put the brakes back on here. We're going to do the hardest one first, and that's the one with the emergency brake cable. Unfortunately, I can't hold the camera and do it at the same time, but I'll do as much as I can to explain it. So remember, the brake goes on the inside and it's gonna go downward like that. So we need to get this slid back into here, and it's hard to do it with the camera in my hand, but we got to get that back up through here. Okay, this is the hardest part of it, was getting that screw, this little tang back in. Again, by releasing the emergency brake underneath there, you have enough wire to pull it through, and there's a little retaining clip right there, that little brown clip that holds it in place so it doesn't go back. And then we just take and fold it up. Remember, the brake goes on the inside, and we can slide this back. I can't work with one hand. We slid our new bracket. The spring goes behind that, and our new bracket goes in. And once you got that bracket on there, make sure our spring slides all the way back. Now we're going to commence to put the brake on. And again, we want to make sure the brake is up in the right spot, and we're just going to pull this spring out and to hold the brake in place, but I'll get back to you. All I have to say is I know why they charge $500 to do these rear brakes on a Silverado or a GMC pickup. What end up happening, trying to get the springs in place, I accidentally pushed this over and it pushed this boot off and sprayed out brake fluid. I end up getting the bushing back in place. Now I got to bleed the brakes because I lost some fluid, so air got in here. So we got to bleed the brakes when we finish this side. Hopefully when I get to the other side, that doesn't happen. But the brakes are in. I got the springs on. Combination of grip pliers, pulling this over to there, and the old brake tools, and using momentum and pushing it into the hole is how I got them on there. And you want to make sure they're in there pretty even, so you can adjust them as needed, and to make sure that they're in there nice and even and they're on there. So now we're going to put the spring in, and we're going to put the star adjuster in and clean the hub up and adjust it. So we'll show you the drum before we put it back on. It's nice and shiny. It's all cleaned up. We got all the dirt out of it. There's no grooves or scratches or heat marks in it. So good job on that. Now we're going to start the process of putting the drum back on and loosening or tightening the star ratchet, which you see there, and we want a slight drag on it. So it's just a little tight, so we're going to go up on her. Or down on her, I believe, to close it in. Now let's see how that works. And we got the hub on, and we got our slight drag that we want on it. Remember, later I'm going to have to bleed the brakes when my wife get home because that cylinder blew out, but we'll bleed it.